Hello, it is me, Laura Talk Softer. I am watching one of the YouTubers that I like, and let me show you who she is. I've showed this before. I had to back it up because I was trying to film it while she was doing it. I'm hitting my phone and trying to hit it, and it's like I'm just trying to coordinate it. Now I'm trying to rewind the TV to get to the point, but okay, let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna flip.
Queen Laura from California.
That's me.
Hi, my beautiful Queen Laura. Laura, the soft
Hi, do you see my shadow?
from California, my one
Hi.
and only beautiful queen from California, with my beautiful Granny Sue, the people that I love with all of my heart. From California in the US, I love you guys. I love you, love you, love you, love you, Laura. You are my queen forever, Laura. Happy anniversary, Laura, my Californian queen. Happy anniversary. Happy 21st anniversary. May God keep you together and glue you together for eternity. I love you, my queen. With your king, with Granny Sue, I love you all.
Now, isn't that a nice day to start your day? She's in her evening time in South Africa, I think in her home, and I am here morning time in California. We both are 61 years old and living on opposite sides of the equator. The globe and the equator. I know, opposite sides of the equator. And just, I found her. And then she found me because, probably because I stalked her a little bit or something. But anyway, yeah, no, on a serious note, I'm going to post this also on my Facebook. And I'm hoping that some of my Facebook people will follow her too. And with YouTube, you get watch hours to get monetized, and she's got the subscribers, and she just needs the hours, and she wants to do good things in her country where she lives. So I think it's pretty nice, and I watch her on my television because I got to charge this phone, and I have to go into the kitchen area to start cooking my mom's breakfast. But my mom is hard of hearing, as some of you know, so I can have the TV loud enough out here to hear her. So I'm going to raise the volume.
There's this person here.
And I'm going to move it to where she's at because I'd backtrack. This television drives me crazy. Now jump to another video. I will find her again on this TV. My TV has changed this format. Where is she at? Because this is another one she did. Let me flip. See, there she is there, but that's the wrong day. So I'm using this remote to find her. I lost her. There she is. See? Enjoy week holiday from work. And I don't know how to say her name, Lungiswa, so it's kind of funny. I have a hard time pronouncing her name, and some of the people from East Africa have a hard time pronouncing Laura, so I totally get it. Linguiça, I mean, to me it looks like linguiça, which linguiça is a Portuguese sausage in my mind, linguiça, but it's it's like lung is wa, but it's not said. I don't know. Help me with this. I know you're going to see this video. Will you pronounce your name like real slow for me? Like when I say Laura, for people. Laura. But anyway, my channel is Laura Talk Softer. I know she put Speak Softer, and that was originally going to be, that's what I get confused with. I think it sounds better, Laura Speak Softer, but it's Laura Talk Softer. And the reason it's Laura Talk Softer is I actually had a job, and I've had many jobs, and I had a job that I think it might have been in my 37th or 38th year of employment with this company. One of my job goals, I think it was my only job goal that was written on my performance evaluation, was Laura Talk Softer. And so it was like, okay, I'll try to talk softer. And I live in a family where we talk kind of loud and fast. And I was talking to, different people and about it. And to my mom and stuff. And she's like, well, maybe it was like, you're young and you couldn't get a word in edgewise and you just learned to talk loud and fast. And I kind of thought, you wait for those pauses in conversations. And sometimes in my family, there's no pause. And so it's like, hey, can I, probably was like, hey, can I have an ice cream cone? I just picture myself as a little kid. Hey, can I stay up and watch I Dream of Jeannie? But yeah, I am trying to work on, not talking so loud. And, it has been beneficial in life that I've talked loud. There's many times it's been beneficial. When I've had threatening situations happen, I've just because I talk loud anyway, and it's like somebody's coming at me aggressively, and it's like, get away from me. And I get these eyes like, get away from me. Yeah. Or it could be, Laura, don't play. No, I have a very, whatever you want to call it, jumpy, I think, nervous system. And if somebody's coming at me aggressively, in which it has happened, I've had, I guess you could say, trauma in my life. I've been involved in an armed robbery with a gun in my face. I've been, at another job, like leaving that job, and then 2 more robberies. And at the time, I wasn't afraid. And I feel like the more time went by with all these different things that happen, it's like built up to a distrust with somebody coming at me. And that's why I loved, like, when COVID and people had to keep their distance, like you went to a store and they were like not hovering, because people hover around me, or they, you go to pay, and the person, I live in a very diverse community, and some of the members of the community that live here, their culture, they get very close to people. And I don't like it, but it's like, I know they don't mean any harm. I'm not like I have to, like, this person that is 4'10" next to me is not trying to threaten me. They just don't get the same. It's not the same body distance, I'm referencing about a third of the population here is from the Philippines, and they just have a different. They come close, and they like to talk to me and stuff too, and I like talking to them, and I think they're very nice, kind people, but I feel like I need to back up, like back up. But and I don't, until I get like threatened, I don't have I think a presence that like scares people away until they scare me. So I was just talking to my husband about this recently, because years back, I always say years back, but it's like, I feel like it's years before COVID, but it was like my daughter then I have to think, where was my daughter at? Was she living with me as still like my dependent? Was she already an adult? It's hard. I wish I would have kept a diary, but I used to go to this store and I had my trunk open and I was putting the groceries into the trunk. So my back, is to people, but I always like kind of where I live. I've learned to, like they call it, like keep your head on a swivel, know what's in front of you, behind you, and looking, you kind of just naturally do that. Anyway, I kind of got a little engrossed on putting stuff in the trunk, and something just told me to turn. And these 2 women were walking towards me in kind of a aggressive fashion. And they were 2 white women. So it wasn't a racial issue or whatever. It wasn't a gender issue, because 2 men walking in the same way, I probably would have been even more scared, but it disturbed me. And how they were coming at me, and they were like, hey, we want to talk to you about this. And I said, you need to stop right where you are, because I'm thinking I'm in a vulnerable position with where I was at. I already felt a little bit vulnerable, and they're like, what are you talking about? Stop where we're at. And and then they continued walking towards me. And to me, if somebody's telling you to stop and you're in a parking lot and I'm by myself and they're coming at me, it's like, to me, I automatically assume that this is not right. You're not respecting that I'm telling you to stop. And as women, I mean, they should understand. And then they got even more kind of coming at me faster. And I thought, uh-oh. And so I put on my crazy eyes look. I mean, I know I did, because I see my eyes when I do these videos. So my daughter used to say I have crazy eyes when I get mad, but I think it's more like when it's fear, where it looks like I'm not playing. And now this is like before I was 61, and I've always had like a pretty solid build, because I'm ready to knock the, whatever you want to call it, out of them and to defend myself if they're coming at me, because there have been people who have been robbed, and it's like, I'm not going to sit there and be a victim. I'm going to try to get away from it. I'm going to tell somebody to stop coming towards me, so that way I know if they continue to come towards me, I got to be ready. I am not going to be that person. And women are kind of trained to be, I don't want to, be too harsh on somebody, or have them think that I'm scared of them, or, be mean. No, I'll explain that later if I'm wrong, and I can tell by them stopping and say, hey, I just kind of, have whatever you want to call it, PTSD, something, but I call it self-preservation. And it has worked. I am the woman that will step off the elevator if you're a freaky person that I'm feeling energy stepping on, and I'll say something like, oh my God, I forgot something. And I will jump off right when those doors are closing, and I've done that. I don't know what I've avoided because I've never stayed on to encounter it. So that's me. That's just how I operate. And that's it, and I know that it's been more than once. I was at my mom's house before I moved in to help her, and some woman, I'm coming over, and I see some woman in my mom's yard trying to get my mom to open her door because she's saying she needs to use her telephone. And at this time, my mom was still, she was probably this was maybe 10 years ago, probably mid 70s. And I'm coming up and seeing this woman that she's trying to like sweet talk my mom into, and I just happened to be here, but I feel like that's like God's grace. I'm coming up, and I did not like what I saw. And it just immediately, it's like something comes over me, and I just become like, what are you doing at my mother's door? I need to use her phone. I just want to use her phone. You don't want to help me? What do you want? I'll call the police for you if you need help. But get out. Get out of this yard, and I will call for help. You are not coming in the house to use her phone. I don't know why you're acting like this. And I'm like, you don't know why I'm acting like this? And I guess I don't know. That's me acting how I feel I acted, but I'm sure something comes over me because my daughter used to say that if I got mad at her or something, she, as an adult, said, I just always thought you were going to kill me sometimes. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I know I've been told I look confused sometimes, like, but yeah. So, I've been called a pit bull. I remember, my dad, when he was really sick, and he was in the hospital, and I didn't kind of like how things were going and how some things were going. And when I was just talking to the particular, very, very professional of the professionalist staff, and it just was, I did not like his answer. I know, I didn't kind of mean to, but I cornered a surgeon in the hospital because I was like, what do you mean that my dad didn't ask for any painkiller and you continue to do a procedure with tears rolling down his face? I don't get this. Do you not understand his background? He was a career Marine, and he's not going to admit pain, but I got to hear about it after all these processes you're doing. Do you not have any sense? I was so pissed at this surgeon. This was going back to, I know when that was. It was like end of 2002, early 2003, and it just, it pissed me off. I since have Googled this surgeon. He no longer works there. He's retired. He's somewhere living in some really nice place in California, but funny thing is, I found some reviews about him, and it was not good. They said he had no bedside manner. He was cold, had a cold, whatever. And one thing that I clearly remember as I'm cornering this man thinking, and I wasn't trying to corner him, he just wouldn't listen. And so I got him kind of in a corner, literally in a corner, backed into the corner, because I'm like, you're going to listen to me, because it just, the arrogance of this man, it just was sickening. Even thinking, you can see how mad I still get about this. So imagine then, So anyway, that took care of that. And what I noticed is nobody called for security, and the nursing staff that was sitting there and the other people, I kind of sensed that they supported what I was doing, and I would never, ever, physically assault somebody, but, well, that's not true. I would. I wouldn't mean to. I might. It just depends. I almost did. Okay, I've shared enough. But anyway, so my Laura talk softer. I'm working on it. I'm working on talking softer. But if you come near me, or you threaten me or somebody I care about, or if you're threatening somebody vulnerable out there that I see as vulnerable and you're taking advantage of it, you might probably get to read about me in the headlines, probably getting unalived, trying to protect somebody. I have a strong protective instinct and also a strong run, flee out of danger. But I also, when feeling like you got to fight, it's like, I'm not a fighter, but I'm going to protect those. So yeah, I ramble. I'm Laura Talk Softer, and I really can talk soft. And I really am a girly girl. No, I'm not. That's BS. I'm assertive. Sometimes. I'm assertive. Have a good day.